first time on the Phocuswright stage.
You want some water?
I'm good, thank you.
Well,
Thank you so much. Please, though.
So before we start, a couple of things, Charuta. So the first one is the music. We need to work on that. It's a little bit hectic. So for the people.
They're taking notes in the back.
And I think you and I, we are the last thing. We are the barrier. There is cocktails. So we are the last thing here.
You know, I see a lot of people still coming in.
Okay.
So let's make it interesting.
Okay.
Okay? And not give them a reason to drink.
Okay. There's always a good reason for that.
There is. That is true.
discuss.
That is true.
Water, at least.
So, welcome.
Thank you.
You are responsible for the B2B products
Yeah.
and partnerships, right?
Yeah.
And it's going pretty well, right? 55% year over year, a lot of focus
Yeah.
on that part of the business. So kind of a microscope on you, like looking at you. But it is a very competitive space, right? You've got everybody, Booking.com, Hopper, hotel beds.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's competing in that space. So 2 questions. What makes Expedia special? What sets you apart?
Expedia B2B.
And then, how do you see that space evolving?
Yeah. So yes, it's true. 55% growth. For Peter, probably if you ask our CEO, probably it's not enough. But it's true. It's a good number. It's not a surprise. I think it's the first time that we made it probably more public to the press, etc., etc. And business is going very well. You're talking about competition, and some of them they are even our partners. So the hotel beds, the Hopper, they are. We work together with them. So it's kind of frenemies, we call it that.
Frenemies,
that way.
okay.
Frenemies, no, it's a better name for that. We are here. I mean, our mission statement is to power everyone everywhere, no? And we're doing that with our technology, with our scalable technology, no? And what that means is that we take all the goodies, everything that we have at Expedia Group, and we share it with our partners. So whether it's our API, our white label template, or our travel agency program, this is what we do. This is what we have done with partners like MasterCard recently that we signed, with SoFi in the United States, also with financial institutions here, and so on and so on. So I think that is a little bit what set us apart is we started, so we were an OTA, an online travel agency, and we continue being an Expedia group, but I think we diversify a little bit. And during these last 2-3 years, I always say we have the time to climb the mountain, and we started to see the world and get to see where are we going with our Travel OS operation system. And we decided, you know what, let's share it with the rest of the world, not only travel. And this is what we did. So
And
that's
it's a
what it set us
win-win,
apart.
right? Because you have the B2C side and then you have the B2B side.
We have both of them, and we want both of them to be big, continue growing the pie. So yeah.
And you said it's the first time you've made the numbers public. So essentially what you're saying is that it has been going gangbusters, right? Growing
No,
really fast?
I just think, I think it's more relevant, no? That the numbers are starting to be important.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna share more with you, so don't
Oh,
ask.
come on.
No. But yeah, it was about time, no? And again, I think both brand consumers and our B2B business is doing very, very well. So yeah, it was about time to start
So
running.
we can expect for Peter or Expedia Group to be talking more about those numbers. We can track them, right?
We can ask him. We can. You're not gonna get it out, but it's what you are gonna expect to see is we will continue growing. That's for sure. And the technology is already there, set up for us to continue that growth. So this is what we're trying to do.
And you mentioned your partnerships with MasterCard and
Yep.
SoFi, and so is that an area of focus, the financial institutions? Because we are seeing a lot of financial institutions now sort of focusing and trying to build out a travel product,
Especially
right?
in the US. I think everybody, travel is a very interesting sector, no? So I think everybody wants a piece of the pie, no? So we have a part where we take it directly, and we have the other part of the business where we take it indirectly. So for us, it's a win-win. So we just don't care where it comes from. As long as it came,
You're
it's
good
okay.
with it, you'll take it.
Yeah, we take
Okay,
it.
you also mentioned Travel OS, which is basically
Our operating
making microservices
Yeah.
available to partners, right? And you've launched fraud prevention, or about to, right? That's the first one. What else can we expect to see? And how do you decide what microservices, come next?
We test and fail, fail a lot, which is how it should be. First, so the travel operating system, no, I think is worth mentioning, no? So that's let's say that's our technology, no, that we use for B2C and for B2B. That technology, through that technology, there is about $100 billion plus bookings that pass through that. So we just say, okay, is there something we can do to expand that, no? And you're talking about the microservices. So I'll tell you how fraud prevention as a services came out, no? And the reality is that according to a lot of media and Expedia, for example, there is a lot of fraud has increased significantly, about 75% losses in the last year, no? So we decided, okay, let's put this product and test, no? That's the only way for us to do it. We were in beta test and we're getting signed more and more partners, no? Fraud, what it does, this program product, what it will do is it will prevent and manage the fraud, and with that it comes with features like booking screening and so on, no? So we tested, it worked, we like it, let's continue, no? Now we continue doing that. Another service that I can talk to you about, microservice. Another one that is in beta test and hopefully soon we will commercialize is our revenue management, no? So that's another one that we will be hopefully commercializing soon, still in beta, and that's what I'm going to tell you.
So do you go out to partners and say, this is something that we're, making available to you, or do you choose the partners that you
No,
want?
I think we don't go and tell them this is available to you. I think, like everybody else, I will imagine, we listen. We listen to our partners, and then we try to find out what are their priorities, no? Whether if it's microservices, we'll try to find out if there is something. And when we see a common element there, that's when we start to get together, all of us, and say, hey, there is some interest here. Could we make it work or not? So that's what we try.
I want to move on to loyalty, because Expedia has been talking about one key.
I thought you were going to talk about ChatGPT like everybody else. Will you talk
Well,
about
I
ChatGPT?
will talk about ChatGPT.
Okay,
Do you want to
okay.
talk about ChatGPT
Let's
first? We can talk about it,
I do.
and I do want to. But one key especially, because it brings together under one umbrella all of the different loyalty and rewards products that
Yep.
you've been offering, right? Especially, I want to talk about the hotels.com, because
We'll talk about that.
one of our analysts and I had a conversation, and I've heard this from other friends too, that I'm not sure if the new One Key rewards program is going to be as great as the very, very popular hotels.com.
Yeah.
It was essentially a 10% back, right?
It was
How would
10%
you-
back after 10 nights.
After 10 nights,
I'm gonna go
yes.
through that,
And,
yeah.
and that kind of, that also built loyalty.
Yeah.
Because that brought people back. So, so tell me sort of, what would you say to those very, very loyal hotels.com folks about One Key and why it's going to be good for them?
And I'm going to answer that question, but let me just put things in perspective before. So we have two major brands in the world, one of the biggest ones, where they are hotels.com and expedia.com. Each of them have a very different loyalty program. And you could actually be making a booking on hotels.com and you will not able to redeem on Expedia. That didn't make sense. So we put hundreds of millions of loyalty members together, and you can earn and redeem your points in both respectively or where you want to go. Now, on top of that, we added the third leg, which is Verbo, which is also another successful business that they, and this is an element, the differentiator element. At least none of the companies that we know on the vacation rental apartment space, they have a loyalty program. Now they do. And imagine, for example, so I'm going to start answering your question about hotels.com. Imagine, for example, Charuta, you are in near Barcelona in Rosas, and you book an apartment for 2 weeks. So you are going to earn points there, and then you're back here with your family in Barcelona, and you want to spend 2 days in a hotel. So you are going to earn points on the vacation rentals, and you are going to be able to spend it actually on the hotels. So it's a super powerful tool and a marketing enhancement, in my opinion. No? Now you are asking about for the public. So hotels.com rewards used to give after 10 nights, 1 night free, correct? And starting 6th of July, the program, One Key, will be launched in the US and then coming here in some places in Europe by fall, I think it is. But back to your question, you needed to wait 10 nights to get 1 night free or 10% discount. But if I tell you that with One Key you are getting money or One Key cash points from day one, you don't have to wait 10 nights. That's a little bit different because you and I know you're going to Valencia, I know you're going to Barcelona after this, but a lot of people, they are not able to travel 10 days during their year and stay in a hotel. So what about if you have the opportunity to, on your first night, you are already starting making points? I think, give me the money now, give me the key cash point now, and then we can talk about 10 nights free. So I think that's going to be a much better, compelling offer. Yeah.
But is One Key going to be as rewarding for those people who were collecting those?
Yes, because they are also going to be don't forget that they are going to be able, it's a tier system, they are going to be able to climb the mountain and go quickly through the different tiers. They will go to gold, platinum, etc. And they will go faster and they will get more perks and there will be more tools like flight tracking, etc., etc. So there will be, and also the prices will be different depending on the tiers because partners will be able to reward. And let's not forget also, this is a program that we are funding it ourselves. There is nobody who has to contribute. We are spending all that money from our side. So it will be, and it will start, you will start making something now, today, not in 10 nights, that a lot of the people, in fact, a big chunk of the population were not able to redeem. So tell your friends that I don't buy that.
So essentially what you're saying is if they're frequent travelers, they kind of climb the tiers and they can get better rewards, or
they will be able to get different type of member-only deals, what we usually call, and different perks. And if there is, and then partners will be able to say, okay, you know what? Depending on the tier, we will be able to give you better discounts, etc., etc. But this is up to the hotels.
And my understanding, I know you said Expedia is going to fund the program, but I understand suppliers can sort of, get more benefits by partnering with Expedia or, sort of pitching in. Is that right?
There will be, yes, we are working on that, and I think still we will see more and more news on that topic. Yeah.
Okay. So will a consumer still get the best deal? Or is it going to, if I'm going to sort of go in, will I still see kind of a biased sort order because somebody...
Not only you are going to see the best deals, I think you are going to have the variety of the choice to choose between 3 incredible brands with hundreds of millions of users in an environment, in the app environment, that is actually growing. We're doubling, in Q1, we doubled the production on app sales versus 2019 in Q1. So there is a reason for that. And the reason is that we're putting a lot of effort on these member-only deals, on these things that you might only get on the app ecosystem.
And there is, you mentioned app, there's a lot of focus on the app as well.
Yeah.
So, what are the synergies that you're seeing between one key and the app usage and the drive sort of to, push people towards using the app more?
So again, as I think we expected everybody that download the app end up being a loyalty member, no? And what we're doing is that we're trying to make sure we reward that presence. I think we all are trying to do that, but the reality is that on Expedia Group, I think the three apps together, if we put hotels.com, Expedia, and Verbo, it's probably one of the most downloaded apps in the world of travel, for sure. The more benefits that ourselves, our partners, etc., will put there, the more we will increase consumers coming up to us. No? So I think I have my feeling is that it will continue growing quite a lot with this
So
program.
you're basically tying the two together,
Yeah.
right? And the data that comes from it too.
Yeah, the data is, we can talk about data if you want.
Yeah, we can spend an entire session on
Yeah,
data.
we
so
should.
We should.
One day.
Yes.
Not today.
Yes, not
Remember
tonight.
cocktails.
Absolutely. I do want to talk about one more sort of, I don't know if I can call it a product or if you think of it as a product, but the wholesale rate,
Optimized
the
distribution.
optimized rate distribution.
Yep.
And I'm going to give a shout out to us at Phocuswright, because Ariane at your last partner conference at the ITEA came about from a conversation at the Phocuswright conference. That's what happens when you come to the Phocuswright
Yeah.
conference. And it's been pretty good for you. But how many partners have you signed up now? And, how's it doing for you?
So optimized distribution is a program that we created to make sure our partners regain control, I will say, over their price strategy. You all know we started with a partnership with Marriott, and we have been expanding that program. I think we tripled the size, and we have now around 36 partners. Now the idea is, and by the way, like people have seen a lot of less friction, I will say, when it comes to misuse of rates, etc., etc. In some cases, up to 80%. There will be some news about that, I think, in the near future, because we are really working on more granular data, so our partners will be able to have even more control over those rates and channels, whether if it's a corporate, wholesaler, etc., OTAs, etc. We will give them more flexibility. But also it's true that we are, I think we will continue working with the big strategic chains, but we also want to give the same for regional chains and for independent hotels.
Okay. And it's doing well?
It's
You didn't
very
say how
good.
many partners you have.
I say we signed 36, I did
Oh,
say.
36, I'm so sorry, yeah.
I'm not going to tell
okay.
you more.
Yeah. How many more in the pipeline?
No, I'm not going to say.
Okay, let's talk about ChatGPT, because, we have to, right? So Expedia was one of the first companies to introduce a plugin.
The first.
Right? The first.
Yeah.
I think you,
Yeah.
Kayak, you were all together in that first batch. There's now a ChatGPT powered
Yeah.
bot in the app. So what are you seeing there in terms of usage or adoption?
They are telling you we need to stop.
It's our chimes, it's our famous chimes,
Okay.
where I'm being told that we need to let people,
Go for the cocktails.
yeah, but I'm sure they're interested in hearing you talk about ChatGPT, so I think we can take
Yeah.
a minute or two.
Yeah, so again, ChatGPT I know is popular, and we have one of the founders of OpenAI, Samuel Altman, being part of our board for the last 3 years and a half, and
That
he
gives
actually
you an
just
advantage.
yeah, we have some advantage. He left a few weeks ago, no, and now we have Alexander Wong, who is actually the founder of Native AI. No, so what I'm saying is it's not so new for us, and yet it's going slowly, no. But what we are seeing is an increase on the interaction for, I would say, what we call the booking journey, no, from planning a trip, shopping. We're using it to booking, and especially on the post-booking, cancellation, refunds, all of that. We are saving. Obviously, is helping us a lot. But I mean, I cannot imagine the number of millions of calls we are avoiding with all of that. No? So baby steps, but going on the right direction. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you expect that to really sort of evolve, change things in the future? What else can we expect? Because this is just the first step, right?
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody's going to lose their jobs, just to be very clear.
Okay.
Because I know it seems to be very popular to think we are all going to lose our jobs. And, 100 years ago, we were all farmers, and now here you are, you and me. So nobody's going to, I think what is going to happen is it's going to increase productivity. Like, if you are able to eliminate all the friction that you see on a booking, and again, don't forget COVID, the booking cancellations, booking refunds on flights, etc. How many hours we spend with all of that? So trying to eliminate that friction, that is what I think is going to make us be more proactive and be more focused. So it's going to, I think it will change the way we operate, but it's going to also make us focus on the important, and somebody else will do the not so fun things from us. We'll take it from us.
And for folks in the room who might be interested, are you going to make that available to partners as well, some of that functionality?
Yeah, and actually we are already making it available for a lot of the partners. If you look at, we use AI for data insights that we share with our partners, where they can spend their time focusing on marketing, but we give them that insight. We use it for pricing. We are using for ranking. So yeah, we will
but
continue
that's the machine learning part of it, right?
It's part of it. Yeah? Part of that it is, and part of that is AI. I think, again, back to the generative AI, etc., that only works when you have tons of data, and to have tons of data, you need a company like Expedia that manages millions of data. So it's just the beginning, but we will continue working on it.
Okay, well, next time when you come back here,
Yeah?
we're going to talk about data and more data.
Very good.
Right. Thank you so much, Alfonso.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alfonso.